What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be my top 10 figures of 2025. Now these may not all be figures that came out in 2025, but I did pick them up in 2025. Some did come out, some didn't, so let's get into it. Starting at the top of our list at number 10, we have the SH Figuarts The Cell Game Begins, or The Game Begins Goku. The reason why this one is on my top 10 is because this was a figure that I recently got. This was a Christmas gift, and I was a huge fan of DBZ growing up as a kid, as many people are or were. But I never got into the Figuarts line. That was definitely something that I didn't want to get into, just because I know the rabbit hole effect and whatnot. But when I did get this for Christmas, this was a really nice figure, and I can definitely see why SHF continues to put out Gokus and re-release figures and everything like that. The articulation on this figure is really, really good. Definitely some of the best I've seen in the SHF line so far. So really, really cool. Again, not a line I collect, but I definitely wanted to kind of give it its props. I do have some gripes. The face plates, as well as like the hair, could be a little bit better. Some of them don't really fit on really snug. As you guys can see, there's a gap right there, so that's why you see that. But nonetheless, did want to give it its props. Coming in at number 9, we do have the Storm Arena Baki. This was the most recent figure I got, and I gotta say I really, really enjoyed this figure. I don't have too much of a connection. I have seen Baki, and I'm still currently watching it. I definitely say that the Storm Arena line is such a good line so far from just, this figure alone. I do plan on getting Yujiro after getting Baki. I'm like, yeah, I gotta get it. I don't know if I'll delve into the Street Fighter line, but, for the Baki line, it's definitely something that's kind of piquing my interest. But yeah, I mean, he moves really, really well. The shoulders are a little bit stiff when it comes to, like, the articulation. But the legs are fine. They move all around. So pretty much however you'd like Baki to move, you're pretty much going to get all those, poses out. But I will say the thing that limits this from being better is, of course, the fact that, you only get so many accessories. And I get it. It's 25 bucks, 30 bucks, whatever. And that was kind of another thing. But yeah, he comes with one alternate faceplate, which is like a screaming head, and I don't really care for that head too much. I wish it could have been better, and I wish, he probably came with a little bit more, accessories, like hand accessories, things like that. But one other gripe I did have, not based on the figure, but just like when this was actually the first Storm Arena figure that was ever announced. I pre-ordered this back in January, and I got this in December. Crazy enough, this was still charged tariff taxes, which only, bumped up the figure about a couple dollars, but, it's the principle of it, you know what I mean? It's like, this was pre-ordered almost a year ago, and the fact that, I had to pay, a higher price point kind of sucked, so that kind of left a little sour taste in my mouth, but nonetheless, I really do enjoy this figure. Alright, sorry, I had to adjust the camera angle. So coming in at number 8, we have the SHF Goju Wolf. I really, really like this figure. I will say that I don't have too much of a connection to this character in particular. I'm more so like Goju Polar. I have seen some of Gojuger. I always say that kind of weird. Gojuger. So I saw up to when Goju Polar came out. Enjoying the series. I much like Goju Polar as opposed to Goju Wolf, but whatever. What sold me on this figure was just the sheer amount of pictures that I was seeing of this guy. He poses really, really well. I unfortunately haven't had too much time to really mess around with him, but from what I do see, I definitely do like the design. I like the gold. Everything really pops. So that's really cool. That's why I like him. All right, coming in at number 7, we have the Shinkocho Seiho Kamen Rider Black. The reason why this one's on my list is, just the way this figure moves really, really well. I will say this is kind of cheating because a lot of these parts are made off of the SHF upgrade. I was able to get this loose, and he came with all these SHF upgrade parts, so he does have the interchangeable eyes where they do light up. I don't have a magnet on me, unfortunately, but take my word for it, he does light up, and I think I have had put up a picture on Instagram as well. So with that being said, yeah, really nice. I do like this figure. He poses really good, and you know, Kamen Rider Black, of course, is definitely one of the most popular series. So yep, that's why I'm really looking forward to Kamen Rider Black RX. That one's gonna be amazing. Right. Number 6, we have the Shinkocho Seiho Kamen Rider Wizard. This was one of my grails. I did have this one a while back. I think I had sold it. Well, I mean, I did sell it, but I don't remember why. So I was kind of, you know, I've been looking for it ever since. Was able to find this for a decent price. And yeah, I really like it. The wired skirt is what really kind of, you know, draws me to this figure. And I like the accessories. Definitely a cool character for sure. Starting at the top 5, we have I think this is the only domestic. I don't know if Storm Arena technically is a domestic line, but we have the Marvel Legends Maximum Spider-Man. This was a figure that was highly anticipated. A lot of people either loved it or they hated it, or were in the middle. But me personally, I really enjoyed it. I think that this is what set off the Maximum line, and sadly, so far, I don't think it's really lived up to what this figure initially was. You know, hopefully in 2026 we do get the rumored Max Thor and hopefully a black suit Spider-Man, which would go crazy. I think that the Maximum line definitely needs a win because the Hulk was kind of like a misstep, even though I did get that figure. And then I didn't even bother getting the Deadpool just because that one looked pretty much just like the 2-pack with Bob. And you know, I heard, you know, issues about the gummy joints and whatnot, so I'm definitely glad that I didn't get that one. So it's really cool. I like the accessories. The articulation is really nice. Again, you can't go wrong with Spider-Man, to say the least. And at number 4, we have the SHF Kaiju number 8. The reason why this one is so high on my list is because this was something that I did not expect to be as good. Took me a while to get it, and now that I did get it, I was definitely pleasantly surprised by, you know, how well he moves, the size of this figure. You guys can see, like, he towers over a bunch of the SHFs, you know what I mean? So, you know, this is definitely something that really is cool. The articulation does get a little bit getting used to, you kind of have to move things around, but all in all, the interchangeable parts and everything are really cool. I like the face sculpts that he comes with, and I love the series as a whole. I'm really enjoying it. I would love to be able to continue to get more characters in the line, like Reno or what's her name? Damn, Kikoru. That's really cool. Yeah, or my favorite. Damn it, what's his name? The dude with the swords. I can't remember but yeah, the assistant to Captain Ashiro Mina. Damn, I can't remember his name, but yeah, really cool. I really like the series. Season 3 is supposed to come out sometime soon-ish, which I think will be the final season. It's sad that it's such a short series, but it's definitely been, you know, a great ride. So starting at the top 3, we have the Shinkocho Seiho Gridman. If you guys remember, the Ultra Act Gridman did make my top 10 for last year. I think he was number 6 if I'm not mistaken. But in that video I did reference this one, which was coming out, and goddamn, this one is phenomenal. He looks exactly how he would look in the show. The proportions are great. You even get this slight like wrinkling in the cloth, and that is very iconic. There you go, you can see better there to how it looked in the show. He looks great. I don't have any bad things to say. Again, kind of like the other ones, I did pick him up for earlier in the year. Haven't had too much time to really mess around with him. Again, just not enough time, to be honest. But I'm very happy that I did pick him up, and it's just nostalgia, you know what I mean? Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad was a great show. Growing up in the 90s, Fox Kids, it definitely ran shit. So I don't even think this was Fox Kids though. This was UPN, I believe. Number 2. Speaking of nostalgia, we have the SHF Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho. This figure is Chef's Kiss beautiful. One gripe that I will say, don't really care much. I won't say care. I much prefer his green school outfit. To me, that's what I think of when I think of Yusuke and Yu Yu Hakusho as a whole. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the second season, the Dark Tournament arc was great. So many memorable fights. You got Hiei and Bui, and of course Yusuke and Toguro, and you have Kuwabara and the Elder Toguro, and Yusuke and Jin, and blah blah blah, go on and on. But yeah, I really like this Yu Yu Hakusho line. Again, nostalgia. Yu Yu Hakusho is my favorite anime of all time. I absolutely love the show. I'm waiting for a Hiei, as well as a Kuwabara. We did recently get announced a Kurama, which looks really good. But again, they're going with the Dark Tournament outfits, which it makes sense. They're not going to give us the uniform Kurama when they gave us the Dark Tournament Yusuke and younger Toguro. Still have to get him, but all in all, great figure, great articulation. He moves exactly how you'd want to. This was definitely a surprise at how good it was, but then at the same time, not really. I'm just really glad that they gave our boy Yusuke some justice, because it was about time that we got a really good figure. So there you go. And process of elimination, that leaves the Shinkocho Seiho Kabuto, Kamen Rider Kabuto, at the number 1 spot. This figure is my grail, hands down. I absolutely love Kabuto. He's my favorite rider series. Tendo Soji is the GOAT. Chosen by Heaven, all that stuff. Even Kagami, my favorite secondary rider. Again, great figure too. He initially Gataku was going to be in my top 10 until I got Kabuto. So yeah, but nonetheless, really happy I got this figure. I went to Japan looking for this figure. I saw him only at one place in Akihabara, and they were charging like $300. Nuts. Was not going to pay that. I kept searching, and people were trying to sell like the 10th anniversary one for like $250. Too much money, not going to pay that. Was able to get this for a really good deal, an even better deal because it came as a bundle with the Gataku, which I already had, so I ended up flipping the Gataku and basically got this for like $60 or something like that if you break it down. So nonetheless, I'm very happy, and especially just because now we have the announced Drake, Zabi, and Sasord. I would love to be able to get those 3. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. That sounds very expensive. I don't even know which one I would pick out of all of them. I would maybe think I would do Zabi or maybe Sasord. I don't know, because I did like Drake too. I don't know. I would say maybe Sasord. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. This is my top 10 of 2025. A lot of imports, not as much domestic as opposed to previous years. I don't know if that's going to be the trend for next year, but again, this year was really about me kind of backtracking and getting some of the things that I really wanted to. It just happened to be very SHF heavy. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Peace.